And I'd now like to call to order the City Council meeting for September 21st, 2016. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio. Councilman Nowakowski. Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilwoman Stark.
Here.
Councilman Valenzuela. Councilman Waring. Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Gallego.
Here.
Mayor Stanton.
Here. We have a interpreter with us today, Ms. Marquez. Please introduce yourself for the audience.
Mi nombre es Leticia Márquez. Si alguien necesita ayuda o traducción al español, por favor, véame. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Next on our agenda are citizen comments. Citizens are allowed to give up to 3 minutes of comments before the City Council. These are not agendized items, so the Council will listen but not be able to respond in any substantive way. The first speaker on citizen comment is Ms. Diane Barker.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm in District 7, downtown Phoenix, and I want to re-invite everybody to meet me downtown. 2 years ago, the city started a Fit Phoenix program, and every Monday, no matter what the weather or if it's a holiday, we get out. 5:15, we meet now at the Copper Blues, and we walk or run in the downtown area. We go to Hans Park and back. Then we have some music. We have a lot of discounts for food and drink and free raffle tickets. The D-backs, I won. Mercury really enjoyed that the other day. And some of the food establishments. Also, in regards to public comment, there are some times that people can be disagreeable, but lots of times, you know, we can learn from criticism, and I'm going to submit this into the City Council. People know the journalist Harvey McKay. This is recently from the Arizona Republic, and the moral is, right at the beginning, constructive criticism should always build up, not tear down. It's important to have skills to handle criticism, and criticism, even when offered as a helpful suggestion, is often unwelcome. It's hard to accept that your efforts are unappreciative or fail to meet expectations. And basically, they geared this in the business section, but it can be done on a personal basis or in government because we don't always satisfy the expectations of the party that is criticizing. And so really you point out that mistakes and problems, you don't dwell on them too long. You start out talking about how the employee or the person can improve. And then finally, I'd like to submit a records request. I've been misunderstood by the Streets Department. I'm getting no answer back 12 days ago. I've asked for when the hawk was put in, or the hand button to be able to cross the intersection at 1st Street in Washington, and there is one there that has only been installed, to our knowledge, in the last few years. We're not always here at the city. We're at the Board of Supervisors, and today, Mr. Hickman, who is the chairman, we had a lot of citizens there that want him to stop polluting out at Tonopah, and it should be on Channel 12, Bram Resnick, in case you're interested. We want better air quality all around, and they're the enforcement entity in the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barker. Mr. Holm, could you make sure that someone gets to make sure that she is sending an appropriate Freedom of Information Act or public records request so that it can be processed in a timely manner. Thank you very much. Next will be John Rusnick. Mr. Rusnick.
I've got a couple of job orders that people had put in for driveways. I have one at West Edgemont. It says, your plans of purpose of 1/4 to 3/4 inch decomposed granite, 3 to 5 inches, and sealed with Technosoil. They had Marlow, but I guess Marlow isn't available. They have another one here, West Flintlock Way. It's 2 inches of 1/4 by 3/4 inch, and is sealed with gorilla snot. Now I got a letter from the company that furnished the rock for the driveway that I'm talking about. Its interlocking must be laid to a depth of 1 1/2 inches. Any deeper in surface is too uneven vertically to lock into place. Now, they haven't used any sealer on my property or the property next door, and they don't have it on the work order that he was given. He should have put the sealer on there to seal that property, to seal that ground. It is not 1 1/2 inches, but it's 3 inches on a 2x4 wooden frame around the place that's locked in. Really, we should be done. We went to the supervisors meeting at down at the county, and there Hickman had chicken poop leaking all over blowing out into the air through the blower. That they burn this, and can't imagine the mess that they had down that area. The chicken poop really does a job on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rusnick. Our third speaker is Tanya Macbeth.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak to the City Council. My name is Tanya Macbeth, and I'm a candidate for Arizona Senate in Legislative District 15. And I am here today specifically to thank Jim Waring and Thelda Williams for their attendance at the Block Watch Phoenix North informational meeting regarding the Maricopa Reentry Center. Your presence there provided good information to all who were in attendance to learn about the changes that are being made at what was the Adobe Mountain Juvenile Facility. I think that it was clear at that meeting that the Arizona State Legislature made a change through the Department of Corrections in a manner that did not convey appropriate information to the City Council, and more importantly, to the city police departments. The lack of transparency and the lack of communication between all levels of government are a significant issue for the city of Phoenix. I highly recommend that your constituents pay close attention to the Senate and House's actions to punish cities for taking innovative action within their own communities. These issues are significant, and when the Department of Corrections and the state legislature takes actions which affect your constituents in such a meaningful way without collaborating and bringing in city and smaller town primary individuals, including the council, it is bad for Arizona. So thank you, council members who were in attendance, and I hope that there is further dialogue with the community on the Maricopa Reentry Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Macbeth, for taking the time to come down and say those kind words about our colleagues. I think we cannot, okay, go. We're going to move on. City Clerk, would you please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G6211, S42866 through 42891, and resolutions number 21479 through 21481.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda are boards and commissions. Could we get a motion on mayor's proposed boards and commission nominations?
Motion to approve mayor's boards and commissions nominations.
Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. How about city council member board and commission nominations?
Motion to approve city council board and commission member nominations.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Are there citizens here to be sworn in? I see the name tags. Look like a pretty good group. So I'll come down and swear you in for your in advance for your service to Citizens Phoenix, and then after the swearing in, if you would come behind the dais so individual council members can say thank you for your service. Would you please raise your right hand? I, state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of according to the best of my ability. So help me God. You're official. Thanks for your service. Appreciate it very much. You go behind. You just take it. Some are more fun than others. All right, thank you very much in advance for your service. That work is very, very important. Next on the agenda is the moment that Vice Mayor Gallego has been waiting for, liquor license applications, Pink Bunnies in District 8. Councilman, how would you like to proceed?
I actually would love to, we have an omnibus motion, and so in case people who are here for those might want to depart, we'll move items
Thank you very
1
much.
through 21, except items 1 and 2 for which we have cards from citizens.
We have a motion in favor of 1 through 21. Do we have a second? Are there any cards on those items? No cards on those items? Not to speak? All in favor? Okay, any comments or questions from members of this council on the omnibus? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Now, we are on item 1 and 2.
Item 1 and 2 are both Pink Bunnies, which are establishments in District 8, which were continued. So could we, Mayor, get a brief staff presentation?
We get a staff presentation, and then we have one card from Detective Westfall who would like to testify as well, but first we'll hear from our professional staff. Please.
Mayor, members of the council, there are 2 requests being considered here. Item number 1 is a request for an ownership and location transfer for a Series 6 license for a topless bar doing business as Pink Bunnies. That location can currently operate with an interim permit for a Series 7 liquor license that's currently active at that location. In addition to alcohol sales, the applicant has indicated that there will be an adult entertainment at this location, and that use is currently not permitted at this location according to the Planning and Development Department. Item number 2 is a separate liquor license for the same location, which is a Series 7 liquor license, which is beer and wine only, bar license, doing business as Pink Bunnies as well. Staff recommends disapproval of this application based on both applications, based on Police Department recommendations for disapproval for both applications.
Thank you so very much. Detective Westfall, would you provide testimony for this council?
Good afternoon. Seems like I keep coming here over and over again.
We always appreciate when you come. Good to see you.
Thank you. Mayor and City Council, thank you for your time to allow me to speak on this matter. Brent Cornelius is a sole applicant on the application for a location transfer for a Series 6 and 7 liquor license for the Pink Bunny at 2438 East McDowell Road. The Police Department recommends disapproval on this application based on the applicant's failure to meet the requirements set forth in ARS 4-203. Under the statute, a liquor license shall only be issued to an applicant who demonstrates a satisfactory showing that he is reliable, capable, and qualified to hold a liquor license. Brent Cornelius is the current owner of the Paris nightclub in Scottsdale, the Lux Bar in Phoenix, and Stetson Steakhouse in Scottsdale. Beginning in April of 2015, an investigation began for the crimes of operating an illegal enterprise, money laundering, and trafficking in stolen property at the Pink Rhino Cabaret, which was located down around 40th Street in Van Buren. Over a period of time that investigation took place, multiple undercover deals were conducted linking the Pink Rhino owner, Carlos Aramburo, with these above crimes, which they later plea bargained. Additionally, it was learned that Mr. Aramburo had applied for an interim permit to open another liquor establishment called the Lux Bar in Phoenix. Mr. Cornelius was a partner with Mr. Aramburo and a third party in the Lux Bar. On July 23, 2015, multiple search warrants were served. The locations included the Pink Rhino and the Lux Bar. During the search warrants, ownership documentation was discovered linking the Paris nightclub to Mr. Aramburo, and an additional search warrant was authored and executed at the Paris. Due to the service of the search warrants, the liquor licenses for all 3 clubs were impounded and seized as evidence. Part of this investigation included undercover officers selling alleged stolen alcohol to Mr. Aramburo and Mr. Salvador Garcia. Mr. Garcia was the manager of the Pink Rhino and became the manager then of the Paris nightclub. According to Mr. Aramburo, the stolen alcohol would be used to refill legitimate distributor bottles, which would be used at the clubs. During the search warrant in the Paris, they discovered washed alcohol bottles, bottle tops with the seals intact, that could be placed on a clean bottle to make it appear that the bottle had not been previously opened. Electronic security caps were found that are used in grocery stores to help deter theft of liquor. Bottles were found behind the bar with water spots on the inside, indicating they had been refilled. Mr. Cornelius was interviewed about the findings, and he stated he did not know why the bottles would be washed. He is the owner of the Paris and is ultimately responsible for what happens in his bar. It is my understanding that he fired Mr. Salvador Garcia as his manager, only to employ Jason Robles, who was a former manager of the Pink Rhino, as the new manager at the Paris. Brent Cornelius' close association with others involved in criminal activity causes concern that he may not conform to the laws related to his qualifications as a licensee. Based on the aforementioned reasons, the applicant has failed to show that he is reliable, capable, or qualified, and the transfer of the liquor license for this establishment would not be in the best interest of the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Detective Westfall. Are there any questions for Detective Westfall as she stands at the dais there? All right, that's the only card I have. Brent Cornelius, who I believe is the applicant as referenced by Detective Westfall, submitted a card not wishing to speak. Mr. Cornelius, did you change your mind? You wish to speak on this item?
Yes, I do.
Please come forward.
City Council, thank you for hearing me today. I do have some papers just to respond because I wish not to litigate this detail by detail, so.
Yeah, the city, someone will grab those papers and make sure they get handed to the council. Thank you.
The only thing I wish to say is that I've been an upstanding member of this community, born, raised here, multi-generational, love Arizona a great deal, very established. This hopefully will clarify and add another perspective, kind of understand what I'm running into. But I'm a businessman, and I believe in fixing things in this town. I believe Arizona has the utmost ability to rise and be one of the foremost cities in the country. And I think small businessmen like myself contribute to that. I'm not going to stand before you today and tell you I'm a saint or have never done anything wrong, but I have never broken the law. My brother is in law enforcement, so I have the utmost respect for law enforcement and wish them nothing but safety and that they come home at the end of their ride every day. I just want to clarify influence. We all know people who've had trouble. Heck, I had an uncle who was a heroin addict, but it didn't make me a heroin addict. And I also am influenced by people who are upstanding in this community. My father is my role model, who is an investment banker in Scottsdale. My grandfather helped bring Motorola to this city. So I have a long-standing history of developing business in this town. Every once in a while, you're going to run into speed bumps. I know that this is not an industry that everybody loves and adores, but it is an industry of opportunity. And if they're run right and run by capable, good people, I think you can see how it would influence the community in a positive way. So I plan on working through this process. I don't expect any miracles today, but I do expect that you know that I will keep fighting because I am innocent. Everything that was presented to you, if you read through it, that was presented against me was innuendo and association, nothing about how I've conducted my businesses in this town for 22 years. So I really want to thank you for the time. I know that leadership is often a thankless job, so I do appreciate your guys' service on the council.
Thank you, and thank you. I think it was valuable to hear from both sides. Our office got to hear from both sides, but I think it's important that the council hear from both sides on this issue. The Pink Rhino is also in just the district that I represent, and it really has been something that...
And I have no formal association with Pink Rhino other than having visited it as a customer.
And can you tell us about your involvement at this particular location, what it was, and when you became involved, and what is the status today?
Sure, absolutely. I'm, as an entrepreneur, I have a guiding philosophy. You probably don't want to hear all this, but is you make money on a buy. This is a distressed asset that was run poorly, treated poorly. My goal is to fix it up, make it nice, make it something that the community can be proud of, a bar that is, a happy place, not a run-down, dirty place where people can feel free to come have a good time in safety. And so our goal is, knowing that it was a distressed asset, picking it up, and we'd like to remodel it, spend quite a bit of money on construction, remodeling the whole thing, putting it together. I think the plans are actually over at the city office, planning office, currently waiting for approval, where if we can get through all this, it will be something that the city is actually proud of.
And we talked about, this is the neighborhood, it's immediately adjoining a neighborhood, and this neighborhood has, in one case, supported adult use at this location. Have you had a chance to meet with the neighborhood?
I want to say one thing. I took the recommendations from our meeting and did do all that. I've called them 3 times, haven't got a response, but your buddy Joaquin has promised to give me some new information, and so I can get a hold of somebody else. And also, I sought out Detective Westfall, it should be noted, before this meeting, and she gave several recommendations, and all of those recommendations were followed as well. So I am trying to do the best I can to subjugate myself to the wishes of the council and also the police force.
Wonderful. We appreciate you taking our feedback. We all agree we want to build the strongest city possible. What is currently operating at the location?
Currently, it's quiet, pending us getting through all of this. We had started, demolition and tearing out carpet and stuff, and now that we've hit a speed bump that was unexpected, everybody's kind of waiting to see how we work through this with the city.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's all my questions, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Any other questions from members of the City Council? I appreciate it. The only thing I want to clarify is, and I don't think you purposely meant this, but the language you left the impression is somehow a criminal trial here. This is only whether or not the City Council is going to make a recommendation
I'm
for
sorry.
the privilege of granting a liquor license. It is a privilege, and so the police have to do the best they can, do an investigation. They have to make a recommendation as council, and we make a recommendation to State Liquor Board. So you're not guilty or innocent. This is not a criminal sanction in any regard. It's simply a recommendation that this body will make to the State Liquor Board.
Thank you for the clarification.
All
Didn't want
right,
to leave in handcuffs.
you have a motion, Vice Mayor?
Motion to disapprove item 1 based on the police department recommendation for disapproval because of concerns with applicant's association with individuals involved in criminal activity. Applicant has not demonstrated capability, qualifications, and reliability to hold and control a liquor license.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any comments or questions by members of this council? Councilman DeCiccio, please.
Whether or not, I'm just trying to get an idea because I heard he wasn't the individual that there's concern about is not a part of this, and he was. But I'm fine with whatever you're going to go. I just was curious as to when you say applicant, this is the applicant, isn't it, or not?
I believe Mr. Cornelius is the applicant for the liquor license proposed for Pink Bunnies.
Mayor, members of the council, Brent Cornelius is the applicant for Pink Bunnies.
Does he have a problem?
Mayor, members of the council, Councilman DeCiccio, based on the police department report with his previous and continued association with other persons that have criminal activity, which can be used as a basis for denial under Arizona revised statutes, I believe that's the basis of staff's recommendation, which contributes to his capability, qualifications, and reliability.
All right, so we have a motion for denial. We have a second. Any additional comments or questions? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Noakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so the motion for denial was successful unanimously by the city council, thus triggering a full hearing before the state liquor board if the applicant decides to proceed. Thank you, Mr. Cornelius, for coming. Detective Westfall, thank you for your time very, very much. Next.
And then motion to disapprove their second
Oh, I'm sorry.
application, item 2, based on the police department recommendation for disapproval because of concerns with the applicant's association with individuals involved in criminal activity. Applicant has not demonstrated capability, qualifications, and reliability to hold and control a liquor license.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Noakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. And I think now that we're done with liquor licenses, I had requested item 54 be taken out of order, an opportunity to, oh, that applicant is going to withdraw that item. I guess we can deal with it in the omnibus. Okay, I apologize. Vice Mayor, can we deal with have an omnibus motion on ordinances, resolutions, new business?
Motion to approve items 22 through 58, except the following. Items 22F, 22K, 23, 31, 39, 40, and 54, and excluding these items for public comment, 39 and 53.1, and noting that item 54 has been withdrawn.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second on that motion? Just a moment before we have a second. What do you suggest, 29, 30? Held out? Do you still have comments on foreign trade zone?
I'm sorry?
Foreign trade zone?
I had an old list, items, we are holding out also items 29 and 30.
All right, so we're going to hold out 29 and 30 as well. So that's the omnibus motion. Do we have a second for the motion?
Councilman Waring has wisely suggested I read the list a second time.
So, because I don't see 33 up there.
Yeah, 33 as well.
I would like to reread the motion. Motion to approve items 28 through 58, except the following. Items 22F, 22K, 23, 29, 30, 31, 33, 39, 40, 47, 43.1. Item 54 has been withdrawn, and excluding items 39 and 53.1 for public comment.
She got it. Yep.
No.
Okay.
There is no.
Okay, so we do have a omnibus motion. Yep, the question asks, Councilman Pastor, do you want to hold out 43 or no? No. Okay. Everybody look at the list of holdouts. We're good. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that, the omnibus passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item 22F. 22F is on our payment ordinance. Do we have a motion on 22F?
Move approval of item 22F, the Valley Metro item.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Waring, did you have comments on 22F? Are there any cards on 22F? Any comments or questions by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes on an 8-1 vote. Councilman Waring voting no. 22K, do you have a motion on 22K?
Move approval of item 22K, which is aquatic consulting and testing for the Vector and Consulting Services area at Rio Salado Restoration Area. A very timely item as vector control is on all of our minds, so very exciting for Councilman Nowakowski and myself who represent constituents in this area, and we would love to see as much vector control as possible as we read about Zika virus and other important issues. Second.
Okay, so we have a motion in favor of 22K. We have a second. Are there any cards on 22K? Councilman DeCiccio, do you have comments on 22K?
Just a quick one. I want to thank the city for moving this forward. I think it's important for our quality of life. Even though we don't have a problem with the Zika virus here in the city or in the state, it's always better to be ahead of it, and I think that's what Phoenix is known for, is being able to be ahead of these types of issues, and I'm glad we're taking this on. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Noakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes unanimously. Next is a public hearing on item 23. Item 23 is a public hearing for proposed annexation of 42nd Street and Peakview Road, 42nd Street and Peakview Road. Lost my gavel. The public hearing is now open on item 23. I have one card not wishing to speak in favor of item 23, Kevin and Kim Neff. So that'll be noted for the record. Is anyone else in the audience here wishing to speak on item number 23, proposed annexation 42nd Street and Peakview Road? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. There'll be no action on that today. When will action be taken on that item? Is that our next meeting?
Whenever we have this.
In the near future, okay. So at some point in the future, we'll take action on that proposed annexation. Next item on the agenda is item 29, proposed authorization to amend our foreign trade zone operations agreement. Do we have a motion on 29?
Would it be okay to do a motion for 29, 30, and 33, all foreign trade zones together?
That's fine with me.
All right. Move approval of items 29, 30, and 33, all pertaining to foreign trade zones.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Councilman Waring, did you have comments on those items? No comments? Any cards on those items? Any comments by other members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. No. Noakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Foreign trade zones. Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so those items pass on a 7-2 vote. Next item is item 31, a proposed IGA with Maricopa County Community College District. Councilwoman Pastor is going to, you want to declare a potential conflict?
I have a conflict.
Councilwoman Pastor has a potential conflict of item 31 and will not be participating in our discussion or a vote. Do we have a motion on item 31?
Motion to approve. I have a comment as well, Mayor.
The motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Valenzuela.
This is a $4 million grant. This is the Strengthening Working Families Grant, and a great partnership with the Maricopa Community College District. This is going to allow hundreds of parents, 600 parents, in 2 locations in the Valley, Maryvale, and a community in Mesa. It's going to allow for parents in these communities to obtain affordable child care, to pursue education and training, in some of the fields that are moving our economy forward. For an example, information technology, healthcare, advanced manufacturing jobs, and several others. And so this is good for our district. In fact, you know, I said this a million times, what's good for Maryville is truly good for the entire city. This is really, and I would say that about every neighborhood in our city, but this is a community that could really use this type of grant and these funds. So I want to thank the Maricopa Community College District for this partnership, and as I mentioned, it's going to be good for all of us. So obviously, I'm excited to support.
Thank you very much, Councilman Valenzuela, for those kind words about a great workforce development program in your district and benefiting the city. Any other comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Noakowski.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes on an 8-1, 7-1. Oh, that's right, one conflict, I apologize. 7-1. Next item on the agenda is item number 39. This has to do with a proposed valet parking program at Sky Harbor Airport, I'm assuming, right? Okay. All right, we have a motion on 39. Is 39 and 40 related enough? Do we want to join them? Okay, so we have a motion on 39 and 40, and there are a few cards, and then we'll take a vote.
Motion to approve items 39 and 40.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. The motion is in favor of a proposed valet parking system at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, at least a pilot program. John Kuhnmuller, will speak, and he has a variety of people donating time. So you can get a little more than 2 minutes. But
Thank
you don't
you,
have
Mayor.
to use all 8 minutes that you've been allotted. You do not have to.
I will not. I'll actually be very quick. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is John Kuhnmiller, and I am president of Freedom Park Airport Valet Services. Mayor Stanton and Council, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be here today, but more than that, the opportunity to bring valet parking to Sky Harbor Airport. I'm here really primarily for 2 reasons. First is simply to make myself and my team available to answer any questions that you may have. And although the proposal submitted by Freedom Park was ranked highest by the selection committee, and there was no formal protest that submitted during the protest period, and the recommendation was unanimously approved by the Downtown Aviation and Redevelopment Committee, and we want to thank council members Valenzuela, Pastor, Nowakowski, and Williams for the recommendation. We don't take this last step lightly, and so we wanted to be here today in case there was any questions. Now, we are ready to get to work here in Phoenix. And immediately following your approval, we begin to prepare to launch valet services at Sky Harbor. And the greatest thing is we want to be in and ready by the time the busy holiday season starts. Second, I just wanted to applaud each of you and the entire City of Phoenix team for recognizing the need for airport valet parking and the value that it's going to bring to the Sky Harbor traveler. Now that we've been recommended for the award, leading the charge will be our general manager, a native son of the Valley, Wes James, and I wanted him to stand just so I can introduce him. Now, before returning to his hometown, Wes did spend 7 years in Dallas learning the art of airport valet parking. I know he's excited to bring his experience and passion for customer service back to his home airport. Mayor Stanton, council members, the Sky Harbor travelers are really in for a real treat. But moreover, we recognize that this is a major responsibility for Freedom Park, and we take very seriously the fact that airport valet parking is going to be a particularly unique reflection on you and also Sky Harbor as the world's friendliest airport. So Mayor Stanton, my thanks to you and the council, and a particular thanks to the airport and the city staff for the most professional approach. We look forward to a very long partnership, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Kuhnmuller about how the pilot program is going to work at Sky Harbor Airport? All right, so we have no other cards wishing to speak on that item. We had a motion in favor of the valet parking pilot program. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so the 39 and 40 passed by a vote of 8-1 of the Phoenix City Council. Congratulations, do good work at Sky Harbor. We appreciate it very much. Next item on the agenda is item 47, authorization to license city property at 19th Avenue in Los Palmeritas to 19 North Community Alliance. Councilman Valenzuela, do you have a motion?
Motion to approve item 47.
We have a motion and a second. You want to go first or hear cards? Up to you.
We can go to cards.
Shannon McBride, you wish to provide testimony on this item. You are in favor of the proposal. Good to see you.
Hi, good afternoon. We're just excited. 19 North is a rebranding of the area along the new light rail from Montebello to Dunlap, and it's a beautiful collaboration of schools and neighborhood groups and the government and faith and businesses large and small. And the garden is just going to be one of the visual representations of that, of all of us coming together. I've already got an architect firm that said that they will donate the design. I've got landscapers who said they will help work on it, others that are going to donate trees. So I think it's going to be a beautiful reflection right on the light rail for us to all enjoy. Questions?
Thank you very much, Ms. McBride. Any questions? I know Councilman Valenzuela was going to say a few words too, but we owe you a huge debt of gratitude that you took a very difficult construction period and you used it to really organize that entire neighborhood, and what's come out of it is going to be a super, super positive thing for the entire city. So thank you for what your leadership. I know you've put in a lot of time to make it happen. Councilman Valenzuela.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shannon. So Shannon McBride, who's leading the charge on 19 North, and of course, Pastor Sam Hill, who is here with Open Door Fellowship. What a great story. During the 3.2-mile stretch of light rail construction, we all remember celebrating when we decided to move that forward, and thank you for your leadership, Mayor. And then we started ripping up the roads, and then it's a bit of a different story, and it becomes a struggle working closely with Valley Metro, who may be here, but I want to thank Valley Metro again for their effort, and of course, Albert Santana, our light rail manager and city staff, for really helping to keep the community together. Open Door Fellowship really took it a step further. They helped keep more than 300 businesses together in this coalition. Today, it's a beautiful area with light rail that connects 7 schools, a hospital, a couple of grocery stores, places of worship, and now it's helping to create this identity, which is 19 North. Shannon mentioned some of the small business leaders that are partnered. One of the large ones that just recently came on is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, which is a big deal.
They're all in.
And now this is about a community garden and what it really means for this community. It's going to give people a chance to receive organic fruits and vegetables that they otherwise probably wouldn't have. It gives our seniors an opportunity to really, give their influence and their knowledge on what they know best. A lot of them know gardening very well. And it's going to allow us to introduce something like gardening to our kids, which I think is something that's been lost as well. So leave it to 19 North to come up with this great partnership with the City of Phoenix. I can't say enough about your leadership, Shannon, and of course yours, Pastor Hill. Thank you so much for being here. And obviously I'm very supportive of this item as well, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Valenzuela. Any other comments by members of this council? We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So this item passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. McBride. Great work. Next item on the agenda is item 53.1. This was an add-on to our agenda that came in just over 24 hours ago. I'll ask our city manager to explain what is being proposed with 53.1.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Item 53.1 is a response to a Supreme Court ruling that was issued a week ago that held that the city's negotiated agreement with the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association and particularly the aspects in there related to release time were constitutional. And we had language in the contract that said if the court ruling came that way, that we would meet and confer with plea and return the language back to its original form. So this item is doing that. It's returning the language back to what was negotiated before the lower court rulings, and it would conform us with the Supreme Court's ruling in this case.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for our city manager? Or maybe we want to put a motion on the floor, and then we can have a discussion, hear public comments on the motion. Is there a motion?
I move item 53.
53.1?
53.1.
Councilwoman Pastor is supporting the staff recommendation of 53.1. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, maybe I'll move to cards, and I'll turn to members of the council on this item. Steve Berline, who is president of United Phoenix Firefighters, Local 493. Do you already have testimony? Did you want to speak?
If need be.
All right, I'll let you decide, but depending on which way the debate goes, you can decide whether you want to jump up and give us guidance. How about Brian Willingham? PJ Dean? Okay. All right, I'll now turn to members of the council. Are any comments or questions by members of this council on item 53.1? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so 53.1 passes by a vote of 7-2 of this city council. Do we have any other items? Oh, we have no other business before this city council. A rather quick meeting for us. This meeting is adjourned.
Oh, that was